welcome to Sad Story Saturdays. My guest is
Mike B.
I'm Sadness the Clown, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on your sad story.
Okay, so the first sad story that comes to my mind is I was about 6 years old and I was living with my biological mother, my stepfather, a half brother, a half sister, and we were taking care of my mom's mom, my grandma.
Okay.
And to a 6 year old, like, it was a bit confusing that she was kind of sick all the time. She always had to be laying down. I remember seeing lots of pill bottles. She also always drank from a really big, like, big gulp Pepsi cup.
Hmm.
And she'd often have like cigarette holes in her bedding and things like that. And, what was really going on was, you know, battling with likely depression or addiction or something. I'm not really at liberty to say, but something was going on with her. And
Right, right.
so I remember sitting with my two half siblings. We would always stay in the living room and stay up late at night. It's got the classic, like, I think this was, 2000, 2001. So there's like old cartoons, well, old now, like uh,
Yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog, that kind of a thing,
Hmm.
staying up late. And actually, I remember that it was specifically Courage because it was the Give Me the Slab episode that no one seems to remember, but it was really scary for a
Yeah,
six
yeah.
year old. And so my grandma comes out like of the darkness of the hallway, and I mean, dude, she had her pants around her knees, which was jarring for a 6 year old. I'm seeing your grandma naked. She had eyes rolled in the back of her head, and she was like shaking profusely,
Wow.
and like fell to the ground. And I can still see it clear as day. I don't remember most of the stuff that happened to me before like about 9 years old, but I mean, I'll never forget that.
Hmm.
She died, I believe, the next day, uh,
Oh wow.
for reasons that I still haven't been able. No one's told me exactly what was going on. But yeah, it always stuck in my head, and it actually reminds me a lot of uh, David Lynch. He had a similar experience when he was younger with something about a nude woman running up to him and his brother or something like that in like the middle of the night. And there's something very visceral and, unfortunately kind of dark, especially for a little kid to see it at that age.
Yeah.
That yeah, when someone tells me to think of a sad story, that's like the first thing that comes to my brain.
Well. Yeah. I mean, it definitely sounds like a core memory.
Yeah,
You
like,
know.
I'd love to like try to make it into some sort of art or catharsis or something, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's burned in there pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, and for it being a vague memory, like you have quite a bit of detail in it anyway.
Yeah,
Like you've basically painted a picture, and
yeah.
there's still a lot of holes to fill.
Hmm.
And yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff. It's like either someone hasn't told you out of keeping it a secret,
Mm.
or maybe you haven't asked the right person. Maybe it's not
Mm.
even the right time.
Protection
You
too,
know.
maybe.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. I, I've walked. I've had my mother used to work at a convalescent home.
Mm.
So I'm 38 now, and she retired about 5 years ago. But she did it
Right.
since the day I was born. So I had one incident where like we would always come over and like tap on the keys on the piano that like they had in the hall and
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
And yeah, I have a weird memory of like this elderly lady just walking down the hallway, very ghostly like,
Yeah.
completely nude. But obviously she didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I never asked for an explanation.
Right.
I never asked my mom about it. To this day, it's just a weird memory. It's like, wow, like, why do I not know forget that? Why?
Yeah, for
So
sure, dude.
it's just
It's hard to get rid of. I think too, like I this part I'm not entirely sure if it's reality or dream based because sometimes that kind of whole scenario will come back in like a dream or something.
Hmm.
But I have some sort of memory, like real or imagined, of like going to get my mom and my stepdad because we're little kids. We're like, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Something's wrong with grandma. And then so I remember like pounding on the door and of my mom and my stepdad, and they wouldn't open it, and I couldn't hear anything, and I was like trying to open the door, and the door is locked, right? Um, and I think in hindsight, like in retrospect, it's like I think they were kind of getting into some trouble of their own, like
Hmm.
uh, it was just kind of not like them to have their door locked, and they were essentially we
It was
were
like out of
unable
the
to wake them
norm,
up.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, just kind of like, I guess through the action of talking about it, like I remember too, like the next day, we lived out. This is like in a place called Oro Grande or Oro Grande, in like the desert area, like near Victorville, kind of like
Oh, okay.
Mojave. Generally speaking, that area.
Yeah.
Not
Not
per-
familiar, but
yeah, I'm not particularly good with geography, but we were out in like bumfuck nowhere. Like it was like I think our nearest neighbor. It kind of reminded me of the Midwest, but in the desert here in California.
hmm.
So it was kind of I don't know, like almost off-putting to see like an ambulance come to our like little crappy shed-like house, like in the middle of the desert. But there was the room that she would stay in, and kind of in a beautiful way it was different than all the other rooms in the house. Like it was a pretty dark house in like many ways, but her room was always like very bright, very, for want of a better term, like old lady like there's
Yeah.
like the type of
Doilies and
doilies and like
yeah.
the couch with like the floral pattern,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I do remember seeing her dead, like in that bed, when the ambulance was coming to get her. uh, and at that young age, just like parsing that, like or at least I knew, like, oh, like my grandma's dead,
Yeah.
but the reality of that situation, at least for me at that age, was like kind of hard to parse, um, and kind of beautiful in its own weird way with all the like pink and flowers and doilies and stuff,
Yeah.
like
Just peaceful looking. Yeah.
I think so. I think she did have a little bit of peace like before she left,
Yeah.
so I guess there's kind of an upside to the thing if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's in a sense I'm jealous because both of the death of my grandmothers uh both happened in Mexico, so
Oh,
I wasn't there for the funerals. I wasn't there for the passings.
right,
One of my grandmothers had a hospice situation.
right.
I didn't go to that. Just work life was in the way.
Yeah,
It wasn't like I
different
didn't.
countries.
Yeah, so it wasn't in the cards. Same thing with my grandfathers. You know,
Mm,
uh, my gra- my mother's father died when I was little. So yeah, going to Mexico was like just not gonna happen.
right, right.
But yeah, my grandfather passed away when I was in high school, and it happened so fast that I wasn't told about it until about a week after he was buried.
Got you.
But in Mexico, it's like death, a couple hours of mourning, and then burial. Like there's
Wow.
no like morgue and
Yeah,
autopsy and
sprucing up the body.
yeah, there's none of that. It's quick, and
Right.
so yeah, man. I mean, I'm sorry for your loss, but I it's good. It's nice to know that you were there
Yeah, for sure.
in the transition of her passing. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think too, like getting older, like um, just how death is handled in my experience is like totally shifted. As a kid, it can be terrifying, and I think the older I get, it's still hard, but it's like, maybe there's some sort of birth rebirth situation going on, or
hmm,
it just feels like it fits more into the breadth of life that we live. You know what I mean? Like it's another component that's to be respected, and for beauty to be found in it too. Like as
yeah,
opposed to just like uh, regret or sadness or whatever it may be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's heartwarming because we're fragile. You
Hmm.
know, we're only here for about a century if we're lucky.
Right.
You know, so it's just like embracing it every morning we wake up. It's like, and
Yeah,
those around us, you know,
for
our loved
sure.
ones, friends, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, well, thanks for the story, man. That was touching. You know,
Yeah. Thanks, Caesar.
yeah,
Clown. Okay.
yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for your story, man. Well, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
All
All right.
right.